Every choice we make will invariably lead to consequences, whether they are advantageous for the community or not. Those words from Michael Jordan resonated deeply as the globe held its breath, eager to witness his response to Vanessa Bryant's rumored pregnancy. Indeed, MJ delivered. In a fiery exchange, he put Vanessa on blast during an IG Live session, and his remarks were nothing less than incendiary. So what actually transpired? Let's dissect this. The pregnancy speculations that sent shockwaves through social media. When whispers began circulating about Vanessa Bryant's potential pregnancy, Michael Jordan's response was quite unexpected. Insiders reveal that Jordan felt a profound worry, not merely regarding the pregnancy, but about the Bryant family's legacy and its implications for Kobe's enduring memory. To truly grasp how we reached this point, let's rewind and reflect. The story kicked off in late May 2025 when a Facebook image of Vanessa, seemingly revealing her weight gain, went viral. Social media sleuths dove in, scrutinizing each of her latest photos with the zeal of forensic analysts. They highlighted what they suggested were slight alterations in her look, more relaxed attire, and cleverly angled shots that appeared aimed at hiding a burgeoning belly. The speculation intensified when various outlets alleged that she was not just pregnant, but possibly involved with a 27-year-old basketball star. Subsequently, a fresh speculated tale emerged suggesting she was not merely expecting, but possibly expecting with a young basketball talent. That was the phrase making the rounds in News City, referring to the young baller. The link to basketball rippled through NBA communities as enthusiasts attempted to unearth the identity of this enigmatic player. Social media platforms buzzed with activity as users drew connections, dissecting Vanessa's online engagements and examining every public sighting for hints regarding her supposed new romance. In recent days, the internet has been abuzz with chatter surrounding the Vanessa Bryant narrative. By now, it's likely that you've all caught wind of the news. For the past several days, there's been buzz claiming that Vanessa Bryant, the widow of the late Kobe Bryant, is expecting. The chatter intensified as photo collages featuring Vanessa alongside Boston Celtics player Jaylen Brown made their rounds on social media. These expertly designed images depicted the two at different public appearances, curated to imply a romantic link. The collages quickly gained traction on platforms like X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as users circulated them as supposed proof of their affair. The internet's fascination with linking Vanessa to Jaylen Brown wasn't coincidental. John had just concluded his relationship with WNBA player Kizar Gondrazic in February 2025, leaving him perceived as single. At 27, he fit the description of the enigmatic young basketball player circulating in whispers. Online commenters highlighted his flourishing career, his emergence as a promising NBA talent, and what they viewed as his courteous public image, all contributing to their belief that he was an ideal match for Vanessa. The collages circulating were intricate examples of savvy social media fabrication. They usually featured adjacent or merged visuals of the two at different public gatherings, frequently misread as indicating a romantic link. TikTok clips bearing titles such as Jaylen Brown, Vanessa Bryant started attracting hundreds of thousands of views, with creators assembling disconnected footage and images accompanied by dramatic captions that stoked the rumor mill. The speculation surrounding a potential pregnancy extended beyond mere thoughts of Vanessa having another child. It symbolized a broader commentary on society's views of celebrity widows. Content on X further intensified the gossip, as users circulated material like Vanessa Bryant and Jaylen Brown pairings alongside the trending collages. The response came quickly and was deeply divisive. While some rejoiced at the prospect of Vanessa rediscovering love, others voiced anger, perceiving it as a disloyalty to Kobe's legacy. What made these speculations particularly troubling was their reinforcement of the intense scrutiny Vanessa had endured since losing her husband. Following Kobe's passing in January 2020, she has experienced relentless public scrutiny regarding her choices, with critics questioning her parenting and financial decisions alike. The rumors of pregnancy marked merely the latest intrusion in a protracted narrative of public examination of her personal life. The fervor of the public's response underscored entrenched views on widowhood and the notion of moving forward after grief. Discussions on Reddit platforms, such as Calabanging and pop culture chat, erupted into fervent debates, with users questioning whether Vanessa was justified in seeking new relationships and if a 5-year mourning period was reasonable. These threads underscored societal double standards, as many noted that male widowers seldom encounter such judgment when they remarry or begin dating again. What fascinates me, however, is the strong backlash from individuals, particularly men, who expressed outrage over the idea that Vanessa Bryant could be considered attractive. The Joe Budden podcast emerged as a central hub for these dialogues, with the hosts exploring the psychological and cultural ramifications of the public's responses. They investigated the connections fans form with celebrities and their families, examining how such bonds can create a feeling of entitlement regarding the celebrity's personal decisions. What a wild notion, considering the community I belong to. That's just unbelievable. Indeed, the truth is that in life, she's meant to progress. The conjecture extended beyond mere pregnancy talk. Gossip outlets churned out stories featuring fictitious boyfriend names like Neville Barrett and Isai Alejandro, weaving even more false narratives into the tangled rumor mill. These names circulated widely, lending an illusion of legitimacy and insider knowledge. The pregnancy discussions also intertwined with wider conversations regarding Vanessa's financial circumstances and her stewardship of Kobe's estate. With an estimated worth of $600 million, enhanced by Kobe's estate and legal agreements, some social media users pondered the reasons that might drive any forthcoming relationship. The monetary factor introduced another dimension to the conspiracy speculation, leading users to question if a young athlete's interest in Vanessa stemmed from her wealth or sincere bond. The cultural backdrop of these allegations shed light on American views concerning mourning and widowhood. Vanessa had previously encountered backlash for various actions, such as her choice to uphold Kobe's Nike contract and her handling of the Mamba Foundation. Every move was examined for how well it preserved Kobe's legacy, forming an unattainable benchmark where any decision could be criticized by someone. The pregnancy speculations gained further credibility as they intertwined with real developments in Vanessa's life. Lately, she has taken a prominent role in advocating for women's athletics, acknowledging UConn's NCAA title and participating in multiple basketball gatherings. Her public engagement sparked intense scrutiny for potential pregnancy indicators, as observers claimed to notice variations in her stance, wardrobe selections, and general look. The gender dynamics surrounding these reactions were notably revealing. Male commentators appeared particularly fixated on scrutinizing Vanessa's possible romantic ventures, with many voicing feelings of betrayal or disappointment at even the notion of her dating once more. Such responses underscored wider societal norms regarding female sorrow and mourning, especially among well-known widows. The worldwide nature of the rumors was truly striking. The speculation extended beyond just American platforms, resonating across the globe as international news agencies and social media followers added their own insights and interpretations. This extensive reach highlighted a collective intrigue surrounding celebrity romances and illustrated how social media has fostered a global gossip community. The psychological effect of these rumors on Vanessa is significant and cannot be overlooked. After enduring the heartbreak of losing her husband and daughter in a helicopter accident, and years spent battling through public legal scrutiny, the pregnancy whispers felt like yet another invasion of her privacy and dignity. The entitlement strangers exhibited in speculating about her body and personal matters exposed the dehumanizing nature of celebrity culture. Moreover, the rumors underscored the widespread issues confronted by all celebrity widows, not limited to Vanessa alone. People often drew parallels to Lauren London, the partner of Nipsey Hussle, who similarly faced intense examination regarding her romantic future. These comparisons highlighted a troubling trend of public ownership over the grief of women, encompassing far more than just one individual's experience. Many individuals struggle with the idea of widows finding new paths in life. I've noticed this happening with an ordinary person. My sister experienced the loss of her spouse, and the reactions from those around her were quite strange when she began. The whispers unfolded in a meticulously timed manner, gradually intensifying for weeks until they peaked in early June 2025. Initially, there were just vague suggestions, which then transformed into elaborate conjectures surrounding Vanessa's supposed pregnancy timeline, possible due dates, and her connections with an enigmatic basketball player. The algorithms utilized by social media significantly contributed to the spread of these false claims. Networks such as TikTok and Instagram curated and promoted content associated with Kobe or Vanessa Bryant to users who had engaged with similar posts, forming echo chambers that made the rumors appear more credible through constant exposure. This algorithmic reinforcement established a cycle where interaction with rumor-laden content resulted in an increased display of similar material to users. Furthermore, the participation of mainstream news outlets in discussing these rumors lent additional credibility to the misleading story. News organizations faced the challenging task of navigating the realm of social media conjecture while striving to uphold journalistic integrity. The distinction between news and gossip has become increasingly indistinct as media outlets battle to maintain audience engagement alongside truthful reporting. Nevertheless, the intricate stories spun by social media users and gossip blogs were largely grounded in conjecture and fantasy, lacking verifiable proof. On June 1, 2025, Vanessa Bryant put an end to the swirling rumors by sharing memes of Rihanna on her Instagram stories, captioning her post in a manner that was both graceful and conclusive, effectively dispelling months of speculation and declaring the rumors baseless. But why would Michael Jordan feel the need to address the rumors about Vanessa Bryant? The answer lies in a bond that transcended basketball, originating from the bold claim of a 13-year-old Kobe, who proclaimed he would one day outshine the legend. The connection shared by Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant was far more than mere basketball. It forged a profound relationship that Jordan would later express as losing part of himself upon Kobe's passing. Their journey began with a pivotal moment that would shape their legacies and lay the groundwork for years of shared admiration. It all started in 1991 when a 13-year-old Kobe first met Jordan during a Philadelphia 76ers practice, boldly declaring, "I'm going to outshine you one day," to which Jordan responded, "We'll see," highlighting the fearless confidence that would define their dynamic. This encounter was not simply a fleeting moment between a young admirer and his hero. It marked the inception of a deep, enduring camaraderie between two iconic figures of basketball. The fearless young Kobe fearlessly announced his ambitions to the best player in the game, showcasing the confidence and determination that would mark his journey and instantly capture Jordan's interest. He would reach out to me via calls and texts at all hours, 11:30, 2:30, 3 a.m., discussing post-up techniques, footwork, and occasionally the triangle offense. Their unique connection lay in Kobe's insatiable drive for understanding and Jordan's unexpected readiness to impart the wisdom of his excellence to someone who evidently had the commitment to apply it effectively. Kobe wasn't merely a distant admirer of Jordan. He delved deeply into every facet of his craft, replicating his footwork, fadeaways, and even quirks like the way he stuck out his tongue during games, analyzing with a focus that felt almost clinical. Young Bryant even confessed to replaying Jordan's interviews multiple times to capture his voice and speech, demonstrating a commitment and meticulousness that first irritated Jordan, but ultimately earned his admiration. This intense examination wasn't just copycat behavior. It was a thorough breakdown of greatness that illuminated Kobe's path. It underscored the necessity of scrutinizing every detail of a master's technique to achieve excellence. Each of us has siblings, whether brothers, sisters, younger siblings, who have a knack for rummaging through your belongings, invading your closet, trying on your shoes, you name it. It can be quite bothersome, to put mildly. Jordan's initial irritation with Kobe's relentless calls and texts slowly evolved into a heartfelt admiration as he began to see the earnestness in Kobe's drive to enhance his game. Their inaugural face-off on the court occurred on December 17, 1996, where the 18-year-old Kobe managed to score merely 5 points off the bench, overshadowed by Jordan's impressive 30 points in a Bulls win, a moment that could have been quite embarrassing for the young Lakers player. Kobe faced a schooling on a baseline dunk from the legend himself, yet rather than feeling defeated, he embraced it as a chance to grow. Following the game, he quickly approached Jordan for insights on perfecting his turnaround fadeaway shot. This encounter set the foundation for their mentor-student dynamic and revealed that Kobe's pride could endure guidance, which is uncommon in top-tier athletes. Their bond evolved through key instances that highlighted the mutual admiration they shared in Kobe's fearless spirit in confronting greatness. At the 1998 All-Star Game, a young Kobe audaciously challenged Jordan, dismissing Karl Malone to go one-on-one, all under the watchful eyes of a national audience and basketball's finest. Jordan eventually confessed that it annoyed him at the time, yet he admired the bravery and bold spirit it signified. He saw in Kobe the same unyielding confidence and intense drive that fueled his own achievements over the years. This bravado was not an act of disrespect or childish arrogance. Rather, it was an acknowledgement reaching out for acknowledgement from someone who grasped the essence of greatness. However, that tension is evolving into affection. Throughout the journey, the mentorship transcended mere basketball skills and ventured into the intricate psychology of achieving greatness that only a select few truly grasp or can impart effectively. Jordan offered insights on leadership, managing pressure, confronting media challenges, and maneuvering through the intricacies of being an international icon while sustaining exceptional performance on the court. He revealed the mental facets of excellence absent from any written guide or coaching resource. Jordan instructed Kobe on the art of compartmentalizing feelings during matches, sustaining unwavering focus amidst extreme pressure, and cultivating the mental resilience essential for consistently competing at the highest echelon. These sessions encompassed a range of topics, such as navigating aggressive audiences, balancing anticipations, and coping with the solitude that often accompanies peak achievement. Their bond strengthened through mutual connections who grasped the drive for unparalleled skill. Both athletes trained under Tim Grover, who observed their comparable commitment and zeal for both physical and psychological mastery. Additionally, they were guided by meditation coach George Mumford, who facilitated their entry into a flow state, a mental realm where excellence feels seamless. This collective quest for mastery forged a special rapport between them that is rare for most to grasp. To me, Kobe Bryant epitomized the notion that someone genuinely valued how I approach the game, both in terms of my own play and his aspirations. He strived to reach the pinnacle of basketball excellence. The profound dedication Michael Jordan showed in guiding Kobe was highlighted through the endless hours they engaged in dialogue, not limited to basketball, but encompassing life. Jordan imparted wisdom on navigating celebrity, responding to backlash, fostering connections with teammates, and the mental challenges of top-tier competition. These were not mere exchanges. They were exceptional sessions and brilliance showcased by the greatest player ever to his most loyal apprentices. Their bond deepened as Jordan came to view Kobe not merely as a mentee, but as a sibling whose achievements mattered deeply to him. In spite of endless media discussions surrounding Kobe versus Jordan, both athletes always minimized any sense of rivalry, highlighting their mutual admiration instead of competition. Kobe notably expressed, "I really dislike debates about who would triumph in one-on-one. What you receive from me comes from him. I wouldn't have won 5 titles here without his guidance." This wasn't just humility, it was an honest tribute to the man who shaped him. I learned from him. My goal was to be the greatest big brother possible. To achieve this, you must endure the constant calls, the late nights, and the silly inquiries. The bond transformed significantly following Jordan's retirement in 2003, changing from a mentor-mentee competitive relationship to a much richer connection. With Jordan no longer in the game, their camaraderie blossomed into true friendship as Kobe sought counsel during his personal crises and championship pursuits. Jordan took on a paternal role, providing insights on basketball tactics, family matters, and business choices. Their discussions extended beyond just sports strategy and techniques, covering all aspects of life as renowned figures. They engaged in conversations about entrepreneurial pursuits, familial hurdles, and their views on life, as Jordan provided a listening ear for Kobe's aspirations beyond the court. Among the rare few who comprehended the distinct burdens and possibilities tied to being an international basketball star, Jordan fully embraced his responsibility to assist Kobe in charting his course. I felt immense pride in learning about Kobe Bryant's journey as he sought to improve himself, not just as a player, but as a person. The intimacy of their bond became more evident as Kobe embraced fatherhood. Jordan, who had faced difficulties in managing his career alongside family responsibilities, emerged as an insightful guide for Kobe, especially as he embraced fatherhood with 4 daughters. Their conversations via text frequently revolved around parenting dilemmas, with Jordan offering valuable perspectives on raising kids under public scrutiny and the obligations of being a role model. Just a few months back, he sent me a message saying he was teaching Medora some skills. Over time, the entrepreneurial collaboration between them flourished, with Jordan playing an essential role as an advisor for Kobe's ventures after basketball. Having established a vast empire through his Nike partnership and various business endeavors, Jordan became a key mentor for Kobe as he explored his own business aspirations. They explored a wide range of topics from financial tactics to establishing a brand, with Jordan guiding Kobe in transforming his stardom into enduring prosperity and influence. Their connection was further enriched by its expansion to include their families. Jordan forged real friendships with Vanessa and the Bryant kids, recognizing that assisting Kobe meant supporting his family as well. He was more than just a mentor to Kobe. He embraced the role of Uncle Mike to the Bryant daughters, a commitment he upheld long after Kobe passed. The beauty of their relationship was that they could engage in conversations about basketball, but could also delve into broader life subjects. The true nature of their friendship shone through in their last conversations, showcasing the easy closeness they shared. In December 2019, weeks before Kobe's tragic passing, they texted about Jordan's tequila venture, with Kobe joking about its quality and Jordan replying with, "Happy holidays, little brother." These lighthearted messages highlighted their deep bond, indicating they were indeed like family. The basketball community was taken aback by the raw emotion Jordan expressed during Kobe's memorial service, underscoring the strength of their relationship. In his heartfelt eulogy on February 24, 2020, Jordan poignantly stated, "When Kobe Bryant passed, a part of me passed too. He resembled a younger sibling, revealing to everyone the depth of their connection." The typically reserved Jordan completely fell apart, exposing a side of himself that few had seen. When Kobe Bryant passed away, it felt as though a part of me was lost as well. Jordan's sorrow ran so deep that he confessed to saving their last text conversation and regretted not reaching out to Kobe more often. He often shared that Kobe was among the rare individuals who could tap into his emotions, likening it to his bond with his deceased father. This acknowledgement highlighted the exceptional and invaluable nature of their friendship, illustrating how profoundly Jordan felt the weight of upholding Kobe's legacy. The vow Jordan expressed to Vanessa and her daughters during Kobe's memorial, "We will always be here for you," always transcended mere formalities. He had truly welcomed the Bryant family into his heart, realizing that his connection with Kobe encompassed his wife and kids. In the wake of the helicopter tragedy, the support that Jordan pledged would be essential for Vanessa, as the ordeal she faced was one no widow should ever have to confront. Vanessa faced profound grief amidst legal challenges following a tragic event. The helicopter accident that took Kobe and Gianna Bryant's lives on January 26, 2020, shattered Vanessa Bryant and plunged her into a series of legal disputes that would test her fortitude. This tragedy forced her into personal battles that appeared aimed at breaking her resolve, while simultaneously exposing both her inner strength and the exploitative tendencies of those eager to capitalize on her sorrow. The resulting situation necessitated support from individuals who genuinely aimed to uphold the Bryant family's dignity during their most delicate moments. The crash took place in Calabasas, California, claiming 9 lives, including pilot Arza Bayan, baseball coach John Altabelli, his wife Carrie, daughter Alyssa, basketball coach Christina Mauser, parent Sarah Chester, and her daughter Peyton, in an incident that stunned the sports community and impacted numerous families. Vanessa's ordeal was only starting as she grappled with trials that no widow mourning could bear. Mere hours after the accident, personnel from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's and fire departments engaged in conduct that breached ethical standards and fundamental human compassion. Their actions would spiral into an emotionally harrowing legal confrontation and reveal significant systemic shortcomings at the highest echelons. Chief among these was the wrongful act of capturing and circulating images of Kobe Bryant's corpse, shared among a select group, potentially a couple dozen individuals, including 8 officers. Emergency personnel captured unauthorized and distressing images of the crash scene, including human remains, on their private cell phones, breaching departmental regulations and ethical standards. These images were not official evidence for investigative reasons or appropriate case records. Rather, they were morbid keepsakes gathered for personal amusement, later shared casually among acquaintances and strangers. The images depicted dismembered bodies in unsettling detail, with Kobe's torso easily recognized by his notable tattoos, now symbols of his basketball legacy. The deputies and firefighters disseminated these gruesome visuals like collectibles, turning the family's deepest tragedy into fodder for social occasions and personal entertainment. The dissemination of these troubling images was neither incidental nor part of any professional duty. It was intentional, systematic, and crafted to amplify the suffering experienced by the bereaved families. Joey Cruz displayed photographs to a bartender at a Baja California bar and grill, while Tony and Brenda circulated them among golfers during typical social gatherings, converting sorrow into mere gossip. Several deputies took advantage of the visuals to impress women they were dating, using the tragic deaths of Vanessa's husband and daughter as icebreakers and social leverage. They transformed the most horrific episode of her life into inappropriate pickup lines, showcasing their utter lack of compassion and professional integrity. The mental anguish caused by the dissemination of his photograph on Vanessa is beyond quantification and incomprehensible to those who haven't faced such an assault on their family's honor. In her heartfelt testimony from August 2022, she spoke of her enduring anxiety. Each day, I fear being on social media and encountering these images. I worry about my daughters navigating social media and possibly encountering these posts, articulating the relentless trauma that haunts her life. Her anxiety wasn't unfounded paranoia, but a real apprehension rooted in the awareness that disturbing images of her loved ones were being shared among an unseen audience. She faced the harrowing task of coming to terms with the brutal deaths of her husband and daughter, all the while grappling with the reality that their last moments had been sensationalized for the entertainment of strangers throughout Los Angeles County. Both she and Chris Chester, who lost his wife and daughter in the same accident, claimed that they experienced emotional anguish due to the fear of the leaked photographs impacting the wider community. The ensuing legal struggle was arduous and highlighted the systemic cruelty within Los Angeles County's defense of their employees' indefensible actions. In September 2020, Vanessa filed a federal lawsuit against the county, demanding accountability for the unauthorized dissemination of images that violated her family's dignity. The county's defense tactics were particularly heartless and damaging, as they tried to assert that Vanessa's suffering resulted solely from her familial loss, not from a scandal surrounding the photo sharing. This legal strategy compelled her to recount her sorrow in painful detail during both the deposition and the trial, while the county's attorney meticulously probed every facet of her emotional turmoil. Thus, Vanessa Bryant is essentially stating that she will constantly live with the dread that these images might be exposed to the public. As the case unfolded, the county's legal maneuvers grew increasingly invasive and ethically troubling. They sought to compel Vanessa to provide her mental health records, arguing that her trauma was exaggerated, a demand that would have infringed on her privacy and laid bare her mental health history for public examination. Although the court ultimately denied this request, it illustrated the lengths to which the county was willing to go to evade accountability for their employees' conduct. The effort to obtain her confidential medical files uncovered a systemic attitude that favors legal triumph over fundamental human compassion and the respect due to a mourning mother's privacy. While enduring this relentless legal confrontation with Los Angeles County, Vanessa was also coping with a profound betrayal from her own family, compounding her already intense sorrow. In December 2020, her mother, Sophia Lane, initiated a lawsuit seeking $5 million, claiming she had served as an unpaid personal assistant and nanny while caring for her grandchildren. This legal action occurred merely 11 months after Vanessa's devastating losses of her husband and daughter, adding familial legal conflicts to her immense load of grief, trauma, and public scrutiny. Since then, Vanessa Bryant's mother has pressed charges against her. She demands $92 per hour, working 12 hours daily for the past 5 years for her role as a grandmother. The family lawsuit was especially devastating, occurring just when Vanessa required emotional support and stability from her nearest kin. Many were incredulous at Sophia's assertions that she was owed compensation for caring for her grandchildren, emphasizing that such dedication is typically an innate aspect of familial bonds and the love grandmothers hold for their grandchildren. The suit's timing, surfacing shortly after the helicopter tragedy, led numerous observers to interpret it as a calculated attempt to capitalize on Vanessa's sorrow and vulnerability for monetary benefit. Sophia's choice to take legal action against her daughter during such a tumultuous time in her life revealed a level of opportunism that astonished even those well acquainted with celebrity family feuds. Is this what money does to you? Indeed. Recently, I had Swiley here, and he remarked on the parallels between the current situation and what Kobe Bryant's family endured. The melding of legal struggles and familial turmoil placed an overwhelming burden on Vanessa, who was striving to navigate her sorrow while under relentless scrutiny from all sides. She battled against the county that disrespected her family's honor, faced her own mother seeking profit from her grief, and dealt with a public that critiqued her every action harshly. This war on numerous fronts stripped away her sanctuary for private mourning or healing, forcing her to navigate legal interrogations, court dates, and media analysis of her personal affairs and emotional responses. How can one even cope with such a tragedy? The heartbreak of losing both your beloved husband and daughter on the same day is unimaginable. Yet, in the face of these deep-seated challenges and various adversities, Vanessa showed incredible fortitude and relentless resolve in seeking justice for the wrongs inflicted on her family. In August 2022, following a profoundly distressing trial, a jury granted her $16 million in her lawsuit against Los Angeles County. Co-plaintiff Chris Chester was awarded $15 million, affirming their grievances and ensuring accountability from the county. This verdict transcended mere financial compensation. It affirmed the emotional distress she had suffered and underscored that the county's conduct was indefensible both legally and ethically. The jury's ruling conveyed that institutional might and government power cannot protect public officials from facing repercussions when they undermine fundamental human dignity. It's important to note that Vanessa Bryant isn't lacking in financial resources. This legal triumph held special significance as it was manifestly not driven by financial desperation or avarice. Vanessa allocated her entire settlement to the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, illustrating that her battle was rooted in principles of justice, accountability, and ethics rather than self-serving gain. This act demonstrated to the world that her legal struggle was never driven by a desire for financial gain, but rather a commitment to ensuring accountability and safeguarding other families from similar breaches of dignity in their most delicate times. The contribution transformed her legal triumph into a meaningful legacy that would aid young athletes and commemorate Kobe and Gianna. Throughout this challenging journey of legal conflict and familial betrayal, Vanessa had to face the intricate task of raising 3 daughters while coping with her profound sorrow and continual trauma. She has expressed the challenges of maintaining strength for her children while secretly wrestling with her own grief, along with the daunting task of shielding them from the harsh truths of their situation while aiding them in navigating their own loss. The public aspect of her mourning left little room for private grief or missteps, as she was subject to constant scrutiny. Every emotion, every choice, and every public engagement underwent intense scrutiny and judgment from both the media and social media users, who felt justified in evaluating her reactions to an unfathomable tragedy. The legal struggles underscored broader systemic concerns regarding how government bodies interact with mourning families and how fame can simultaneously aid and hinder the pursuit of justice within a legal framework. While Vanessa's notoriety undoubtedly cast a spotlight on the situation, it also rendered her vulnerable to accusations that she was leveraging her celebrity for unfair advantages in her legal pursuit. Detractors contended that typical families would not receive the same level of media coverage or legal support, whereas advocates emphasized that her fame also exposed her to greater risks of exploitation and relentless public examination than ordinary litigants typically face. To me, the most glaring omission in the coverage was the immense suffering endured by both Vanessa and the Chester family. It was truly unimaginable. The family dispute with her mother was ultimately resolved privately in August 2021, yet the toll on their relationship seemed irreparable. The public confrontation and the lawsuit's timing created a schism that felt insurmountable, especially given the sense of betrayal Vanessa experienced during her most fragile moments. Although the settlement freed her from the burden of ongoing family legal issues, it came at a heavy price: the loss of her mother's support during a harrowing chapter in her life. This resolution necessitated that she rebuild her network without the one person who should have been her strongest supporter in her bleakest times. As Vanessa endeavored to honor Kobe and Gianna through the Mamba Foundation and various charitable efforts, she continued to endure persistent public criticism regarding her choices and decisions. Every choice she made, from her business endeavors to her parenting decisions, to the way she commemorated Kobe's legacy, was open to public scrutiny and criticism from those who felt they had the right to evaluate her grieving journey and choices in life. This relentless observation amplified her struggle with grief as she navigated the delicate balance between her personal healing and societal expectations, all while striving to embody the ideal widow and mother amidst overwhelming trauma. The resilience Vanessa exhibited during this time was truly remarkable. After suffering the loss of her husband and daughter in a tragic accident, she endured numerous draining legal disputes, faced betrayal from family at her most fragile, yet still found a way to be present for her 3 young daughters. Moreover, she dedicated herself to preserving the memory of her beloved family members through charitable endeavors and advocacy. However, the reality is that the harsh judgment and oversight Vanessa endures isn't arbitrary. To grasp why so many believe they have the right to oversee her existence, we must examine the contentious history linked to Kobe's legacy. Kobe Bryant's remarkable journey was not only celebrated for groundbreaking accomplishments, but also marred by scandals that captivated the public as much as his triumphs did. The most dramatic incident unfolded in the summer of 2003 when a 19-year-old hotel staff member in Eagle, Colorado, accused him of sexual assault, marking a pivotal moment in his career. The accusations ignited a media frenzy that forever changed how the basketball icon was viewed. This was not just a fleeting celebrity scandal. It provided a startling insight into Kobe's real nature. The situation unveiled deeply concerning behavior, a sense of entitlement that was alarming, and a callousness toward the impact his actions had on his alleged victim and her loved ones. The detailed evidence gathered in the case was particularly damning, showcasing a predatory approach that prosecutors contended exemplified evident criminal intent. The complainant, a young staff member at the lodge in Spad, Cordillera, alleged that Kobe intentionally deceived her into visiting his opulent suite under the guise of a tour. She accused him of sexually assaulting her while she tearfully begged him to cease, demonstrating clear signs of distress throughout the ordeal. Forensic evidence collected revealed her blood on his garments and a detailed record of injuries indicative of severe sexual assault. Medical assessments performed shortly after confirmed internal injuries that strongly supported her description of the violent incident. Most detrimental to Kobe's credibility was his first reaction when police investigators confronted him regarding the accusations. He categorically refuted having any intimate relations with the woman until confronted with undeniable DNA evidence that rendered his fabrications unsustainable. Upon facing such compelling proof, Kobe's account shifted significantly as he relinquished his initial rejections and devised a new version to protect his image. He eventually conceded to engaging in sexual contact with the woman while asserting was entirely consensual during the encounter. What was most troubling was his simultaneous disclosure of explicit details about choking her during the act, which he nonchalantly referred to as his personal preference. This admission depicted a disturbing portrait of an individual whose sexual interactions included elements of aggression, dominance, and a troubling indifference to his partner's consent and comfort. The case unveiled not only Kobe's purported criminal actions, but also his calculated intent to systematically dismantle his accuser's life to safeguard his career and reputation. His defense team embarked on a deliberate campaign of victim blaming, repeatedly leaking the woman's identity, which incited threats and harassment from zealous fans who perceived any criticism of their idol as a personal attack. The psychological tactics employed by his legal team were so unyielding and intimidating that the distressed woman ultimately declined to testify in criminal court. This led to prosecutors having to reluctantly drop the charges, despite their belief in the robustness of their case. Nevertheless, Kobe's apology during the civil proceedings was particularly telling, revealing his mindset and a striking absence of sincere regret for his actions. He remarked, "While I genuinely perceive our interaction as mutual, I understand now that she does not share my perspective on the matter." This meticulously phrased and legally polished wording hinted at either a basic misinterpretation of consent or a deliberate strategy to evade complete accountability. The declaration enabled him to seem remorseful while preserving his innocence in the eyes of the public. The financial agreement was said to be over $2.5 million, a significant amount many legal analysts viewed as a payoff aimed at silencing the victim rather than true responsibility. Even more troubling was the rapid initiation of Kobe's campaign to restore his public image. Prominent sponsors such as Nike and various corporate allies remained loyal to him amidst the controversy, placing their financial interests above ethical concerns or the safety of sexual assault survivors. However, the case of sexual assault was merely one alarming facet of Kobe's recurring infidelity and marital disloyalty that would haunt his personal life for years ahead. In 2003, Kobe made a public acknowledgement of his unfaithfulness, deeply hurting his wife Vanessa, who felt obligated to support him during press events in a painful display of coerced allegiance. This public shame was exacerbated by numerous reports of his extramarital relationships that painted a troubling picture of relentless infidelity and emotional harm. Vanessa had to withstand not only her husband's betrayal, but also the intense public scrutiny and condemnation that accompanied being married to someone accused of sexual misconduct. In 2011, The toll of Kobe's ongoing infidelity and betrayals became starkly visible when Vanessa initiated divorce proceedings, citing irreconcilable differences and requesting joint custody of their children. This legal move unveiled the severity of their marital issues to the public, exposing painful details about their relationship. Notably, it was revealed that there was no prenuptial agreement, potentially jeopardizing half of Kobe's estimated $150 million wealth. The divorce case illustrated a troubling narrative of a marriage eroded by repeated infidelity, emotional manipulation, and enduring psychological abuse hidden from the public eye for years. Although the couple found reconciliation in 2013, the significant harm to their relationship and family was already a topic of public discourse and media speculation. Kobe's frantic effort to mend his marriage involved buying an extravagant $4 million apology ring for Vanessa, a move that appeared to reflect a desire to purchase forgiveness and dodge impending financial turmoil instead of showcasing true contrition. This lavish piece of jewelry became a representation of Kobe's flawed belief that wealth could amend the profound emotional scars left by his betrayals and the erosion of trust in their bond. Even more surprising than his struggles with marriage was Kobe's intentional severing of ties with his parents and sisters over what many would deem trivial financial disagreements. The conflict ignited when Kobe wed Vanessa in 2001, leading his parents Joe and Pam Bryant to boycott the ceremony due to their disapproval of Vanessa's background and age. The racial implications of their discontent revealed troubling prejudices within the Bryant family that Kobe appeared to accept rather than confront. His readiness to sever connections with family due to their disapproval hinted at a recurring theme of discarding ties that didn't align with his immediate goals. Tensions escalated further when, in 2013, Kobe's parents tried to sell his memorabilia without his consent, including treasured items from high school and his championship rings. This move underscored their desire to cash in on their son's achievements after feeling financially neglected by him, despite his vast wealth. When Kobe took legal action to halt the auction, it compelled his parents to make a deeply embarrassing public apology, yet the ensuing legal conflict rendered their relationship irreparable and laid bare their family's dysfunction for all to see. In a candid 2016 interview with ESPN, Kobe didn't shy away from using harsh language to describe his relationship with his parents. "Our bond is in dire straits," articulated in terms that would astonish even the most hardened sports reporters. He conveyed his profound dissatisfaction with what he saw as their lack of appreciation for his years of financial backing. His resentful remarks laid bare his perspective. "I'll purchase you an exquisite home," and the reply is, "That's insufficient. Then you're disposing of my possessions." The interview illustrated Kobe's belief that family ties were exchanges where his wealth should ensure allegiance and respect. The rift within the family was so extensive and acrimonious that his parents were hardly recognized at his 2020 memorial, with only Shaquille O'Neal making a fleeting and uncomfortable reference to them during his heartfelt eulogy. This public slight during such a pivotal moment illustrated the extent and bitterness with which Kobe had cut off his family due to their alleged betrayal and avarice. The memorial, viewed by millions globally, turned into yet another platform for Kobe's posthumous dismissal of his parents, the ones who had nurtured him and fueled his early basketball aspirations. "I could never grasp how it felt to be in a situation where I couldn't see my parents, or to feel like I had wealth when in reality I didn't. My so-called riches were merely a joke." Unlike Kobe, who had a genuine existence. As an adult, I'm thinking, dude, we can totally pull that off in 3 months. Sebastian Telfer's heartfelt response to the family conflict echoed what many thought about Kobe's disregard for his parents, emphasizing how bewildering the whole situation appeared to those on the outside. The notion that someone as wealthy as Kobe could let vital family ties crumble over relatively trivial, some struck many as not only trivial, but truly baffling. Telfer's fervent defense of familial connections struck a chord with fans who struggled to grasp how monetary disagreements could eclipse the essential need to nurture relationships with those who raised him during his journey to fame. The troubling pattern of severing ties also affected his sisters, showcasing a consistent tendency to distance himself from anyone who didn't align with his immediate goals, even as Kobe claimed he withdrew financial aid to promote their autonomy. Reports indicate that he intentionally excluded them from his will and inheritance, an action seemingly meant to serve as a lasting punishment for their supposed disloyalty. This deliberate cutting of familial bonds unveiled a distant, strategic aspect of Kobe's character that starkly contradicted his meticulously crafted public persona as a loving family man. His treatment of relatives implied that his affection and loyalty were reserved exclusively for those who could enhance his career or public standing. Adding to the unease were the ongoing rumors and allegations that trailed Kobe throughout his career, casting a lingering shadow of doubt that never fully dissipated, regardless of his athletic achievements. Discussions on social media frequently revisited his 2003 case, raising questions about possible other incidents that may have remained hidden due to his wealth, stature, and influential legal counsel. The behavior pattern, confirmed instances of infidelity, serious allegations of sexual assault, and the intentional erosion of personal relationships painted a troubling image of an individual whose public identity as a committed athlete and family figure concealed deeper, more troubling inclinations, and a fundamental inability to foster healthy connections with anyone not directly aiding his ascent. Let's consider Kobe's situation briefly. He faced accusations of sexual assault, admitting to having had sex with the accuser, but claiming it was consensual. The case eventually fell apart, as the woman declined to testify. The most alarming part of these disclosures was how Kobe's basketball victories and skillfully crafted public image masked his significant personal failings and dubious behavior. Charlemagne the God's commentary shed light on this selective memory and unveiled the double standards of fans and media who had shamefully ignored his controversies for years. The same individuals who previously overlooked credible sexual assault claims were taken aback and incensed when these matters re-emerged during award season, exposing how society's reverence for athletic success often diminishes the demand for accountability among celebrities for their actions. Kobe's personal saga was not merely defined by the incidents of alleged misconduct, betrayal, and familial strife, but rather by the deeper revelation of his nature. He appeared to be a man consistently struggling to forge meaningful and respectful connections with those who couldn't directly elevate his basketball career or polish his reputation. One might think that Kobe's untimely death would have settled these discussions for good, yet it only intensified them, transforming his legacy into a cultural battleground that continues to clash today. The passing of Kobe Bryant in January 2020 ought to have prompted a collective mourning and contemplation of his remarkable achievements on the court. Rather than bringing closure, his death sparked an ongoing cultural conflict regarding his legacy, reflecting the complexities of his life that have led to significant divides in how he is honored. In the wake of Kobe's passing, public sentiment showcased the fractures in views surrounding his character and legacy. While countless fans grieve the loss of a basketball legend, some took the opportunity to highlight the 2003 sexual assault accusations and his history of contentious actions. It wasn't just a quest for accountability. It morphed into a collective initiative to make sure his more troubling chapters remained part of the narrative. It's hard to fathom that a 16-year-old sexual assault allegation is resurfacing to tarnish Kobe Bryant's image. The discussion became more heated after he won an Academy Award in 2018 for his animated short, Dear Basketball. Detractors claimed that Hollywood was honoring someone with credible accusations against him, while advocates highlighted that he had never faced conviction and had transformed his life. This situation showcased the stark divide in public perception of Kobe's legacy and character. The hashtag #MeToo movement further fueled the debate, with activists asserting that Kobe's narrative had been cleaned up and his accuser's voice had faded into obscurity. Social media turned into a war zone where advocates and challengers clashed over Kobe's worthiness of forgiveness versus ongoing disapproval. These discussions transcended Kobe himself, morphing into surrogate battles reflecting larger themes of responsibility, forgiveness, and the influence of fame in the face of serious accusations. The rivalries that characterized Kobe's career continued to shape his legacy posthumously. His connections with previous teammates remained intricate, as some praised his guiding role while others chose to keep their distance. The rivalry between Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, though publicly resolved, left deep wounds that influenced the assessment of their careers. Their relationship's conclusion and bitterness, instead of more championships, cast a shadow over their legacies. The Lakers reached out to Phil Jackson, emphasizing the challenge of uniting them. Even more troubling were ongoing disclosures regarding Kobe's treatment of fellow players and his part in fostering a toxic atmosphere. Ex-teammates like Smush Parker shared their unfavorable experiences, supplying fuel for detractors who claimed that Kobe's Mamba mentality frequently served as a cover for intimidation and mental distress. The most notorious and thoroughly chronicled rivalry in basketball lore commenced when two legends of the sport had to share the spotlight in purple and gold. The Shaq and Kobe rivalry has reached legendary status, not only for its fierce nature, but also for the championships it ultimately denied the Lakers. Between 1996 and 2004, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant created one of the most formidable partnerships in sports, capturing 3 straight titles from 2000 to 2002. However, underneath this triumph lay the bitterness that would eventually fracture a dynasty. The core conflict extended beyond mere basketball. It was a battle of vastly contrasting ideologies regarding life, work, and authority. Shaq's easygoing, jovial approach stood in stark opposition to Kobe's tireless drive, heavily influenced by Michael Jordan. Where Shaq sought to relish his prowess and enjoy the sport, Kobe insisted on unwavering focus and excellence from everyone involved. This core disagreement culminated in a heated moment during a scrimmage in the shortened 1998-99 season due to a lockout. The growing friction erupted into an altercation when Shaq slapped Kobe during a practice game, necessitating intervention from teammates to defuse the situation. On a particular day, tensions were high, and things turned a bit rowdy. Kobe and Shaq weren't holding back. Their disagreement heated up, leading Shaq to give Kobe a shove. Suddenly, the team rushed in to pull them apart. This event exposed that their rivalry was rooted in personal animosities rather than mere workplace disputes. The situation worsened as Kobe's legal troubles added even more pressure. In the course of his police questioning, Kobe dropped a bombshell that could forever fracture his bond with Shaq, alleging that Shaq had been giving women hush money. This disclosure not only jeopardized Shaq's marriage, but also showcased Kobe's readiness to exploit confidential details against his fellow players. The fallout from this betrayal was immediate and severe. In 2004, the Lakers had to make a tough choice between their star players, leading to Shaq's trade to Miami. The factors were age and finances, yet the real intent was unmistakable. Kobe's aspiration for the franchise triumphed, even at great personal expense. However, Shaq wasn't the sole player caught in Kobe's scrutiny. A recurring theme of strained dynamics marked Kobe's journey, impacting teammates across the board. Few rivalries epitomize Kobe's disdain for teammates he considered subpar as much as his dynamic with Smush Parker, a career backup point guard who took to the court for the Lakers from 2005 until 2007. Parker's tenure alongside Kobe was so impactful that it shaped the trajectory of his career. Even after 2 complete seasons together in locker side by side, Parker contends that Kobe never once addressed him directly. The mental strain was understated yet profoundly damaging. Kobe would consistently act as if Parker was invisible. The tension heightened when Parker chose to openly critique his time with Kobe. In a 2007 interview, he labeled the experience of playing alongside Kobe as overrated, pointing out the absence of guidance or even simple human connection. Kobe reacted quickly and harshly, declaring Parker the most inadequate teammate he had ever encountered, asserting that he didn't belong in the NBA. Kobe's words carried a heavy impact. He never belonged in the NBA, yet our frugality prevented us from bringing in a proper point guard. This went beyond mere critique. It was a deliberate act of degradation aimed at ruining Parker's standing and future opportunities. Kobe's harsh treatment of him was not limited to silence alone. Parker recounted instances where Kobe outright refused to pass him the ball during games if he believed Parker fell short of his expectations. This fostered a toxic atmosphere where teammates felt uneasy, uncertain of when they might face Kobe's ire. The tension grew due to the lack of synergy between Kobe and myself, stemming from my reluctance to force him the ball and choosing a different path, creating a heavy cloud in the locker room. Years later, Parker sought to mend fences by sending Kobe a sincere letter, requesting autographs on memorabilia for his pastor, an avid Kobe admirer. To Parker's surprise, Kobe did reply, signing the items, which Parker saw as a gesture of goodwill. However, this action felt more calculated than heartfelt. I never received a response from him, though he did sign the basketball. He indeed autographed the photo, allowing me to gift it to my pastor for Christmas. The trend of troubled dynamics persisted with Dwight Howard amid the disastrous 2012-13 Super Team venture. The Lakers put together a squad that appeared destined for a title, featuring Kobe, Howard, Steve Nash, and Pau Gasol. Yet, the synergy was flawed from the outset. Howard, recovering from back surgery and aiming to prove himself as the successor to the legendary Lakers centers, faced ongoing clashes with Kobe's intense leadership approach. The core problem was deeply philosophical. Howard sought enjoyment and excitement in the game, whereas Kobe insisted on complete dedication to his serious championship approach. The friction came to a head during matches, marked by instances of Howard throwing elbows at Kobe, who countered with light jabs. These weren't mere competitive exchanges. They were targeted assaults aimed at undermining Howard's self-worth. I secure the rebound. The entire team is already on ground. It's only me and Kobe left. I score a point. Bo Fiddler joins with another Bo. Howard later confessed that he resented Kobe for years due to the soft label, uncovering the enduring mental scars that Kobe's words could leave behind. Long after their playing careers were over, Howard found it challenging to let go of his bitterness, but he ultimately grasped Kobe's approach. Still, in his mind, he was completely justified. Why should I let the others influence me? Kobe's rivalries were numerous and not limited to just the headline disputes. He had recorded conflicts with Karl Malone, who reportedly made advances toward Kobe's spouse, Vanessa, Ray Allen, Kwame Brown, and Jeremy Lin. Every dynamic unfolded in a comparable way. Kobe would pinpoint what he viewed as vulnerabilities or insufficient dedication, then methodically aimed to reveal and take advantage of those assumed shortcomings. What intensified these rivalries was Kobe's readiness to bring them into the spotlight. In contrast to other icons who often resolved disputes behind closed doors, Kobe appeared to embrace the spotlight, wielding it against teammates he felt weren't up to par. His global fame introduced intricate layers to his legacy. While adored in nations like China and across Asia, varying cultural perspectives on sexual assault claims led to inconsistent assessments of his reputation worldwide. This international lens resulted in discussions surrounding his legacy unfolding within diverse cultural frameworks, each with its own intensity. Additionally, the commercial facets of Kobe's legacy transformed into a contentious arena, with detractors debating whether brands should still capitalize on his name and likeness. Nike's ongoing release of Kobe sneakers, the naming of NBA accolades after him, and the erection of statues to commemorate him turned into focal points for larger discussions about responsibility and forgiveness. Each marketing initiative or public tribute sparked renewed debates over Kobe's worthiness of such homage. The ramifications for his family, especially Vanessa and their daughters, were heartbreaking. Every recognition or critique of Kobe's legacy impacted them profoundly, compelling Vanessa to repeatedly justify or clarify her husband's history while simultaneously grieving and caring for their children. The pregnancy speculation of 2025 marked yet another hurdle in the relentless intrusion on the Bryant family's tranquility and respect. The differing perspectives across generations regarding Kobe led to persistent friction. Younger fans, who grew up post-retirement, largely regard him as a motivator and devoted father, while older supporters and skeptics recall the issues and controversies that marked his early career. I'm curious why, despite winning an Oscar, his name is suddenly being tarnished. This generational rift resulted in discussions about his legacy that frequently missed the mark, as various factions relied on entirely distinct information and beliefs. Additionally, the media's influence in crafting Kobe's legacy sparked further debate. Certain media outlets faced allegations of sanitizing his history, while others were faulted for failing to distinguish his sporting successes from his personal scandals. This reporting led to a disjointed narrative wherein Kobe could be perceived as both a hero and a villain, influenced by the sources audiences chose to trust. The discussion surrounding other contentious sports figures added another layer to the examination of his legacy. Detractors noted that athletes like Tiger Woods endured ongoing public judgment regarding their private lives, while Kobe seemed to have garnered a form of posthumous vindication that eluded others. These contrasts sparked unsettling inquiries about race, socioeconomic status, and the criteria that influence which public figures are granted opportunities for image rehabilitation. In 2003, Roman Polanski secured an Oscar for his directing, yet he faced serious allegations of molesting and assaulting underage girls, which led to his arrest and subsequent flight from the country. The influence of social media in amplifying these ongoing controversies is significant. Spaces such as Twitter and Instagram transformed into echo chambers, where both advocates and detractors strengthened their viewpoints, often launching attacks on dissenters. The circulating rumors regarding Vanessa's pregnancy are merely the latest illustration of how social media can be exploited to target the Bryant family through unfounded speculation and insinuation. The scholarly and intellectual discourse surrounding Kobe's legacy has unearthed significant rifts. Experts and analysts debated whether his on-court brilliance was distinct from his personal disputes, and if his passing led to an unwarranted elevation to martyr status. These discussions permeated popular culture, leading to a scenario where even lighthearted conversations about Kobe became suffused with political overtones. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this video engaging, click on one of the boxes displayed on your screen for more related content.